You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. Millionairex.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit Millionairex.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
I don't spend my money at the club. Everything I want is provided for me.
Biggest misconception about you? Nothing. It's all true. It's all true. It's all true. If you hear something, believe it. You want to get married now? Do you feel like you're that? No. It is by choice. It's by choice.
Who inspires me? Wait, yes. Me. Yeah. They inspire me, those people you mentioned.
I date mostly like married men, because I don't have that type of time for you. Oh, yeah. And you are married, you don't have that type of time for me.
What do you think it is that the wives are not doing? I love this question.
They're not really being loved properly. When you stay with someone for so long and you feel like, oh, I don't really have to do much. Don't ever be comfortable around a human being. They can switch.
His wife, one day I just make 11 o'clock, I'm like, she's like, my husband can't control himself, but you as a woman, you can't. I said, Mama, you can't even speak English. Like, I can't even understand. Like,
yeah, I can even speak English because of that's why.
Yes.
I can't even speak English sometimes. I wouldn't say it was a sugar daddy or a blaster. But I had a thing with someone that was giving me a lot of money.
Every day he was sending me money for lunch.
Every day is when you go to work?
Exactly.
Shout out to the slay queens who are getting their thing without having to sell a thing,
Yeah.
Trust me, you can get whatever you want, once you put your mind to it.
Watch Slay Queen only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
What if I told you there's a news platform made just for us? Unfiltered, unapologetic, telling our stories from Africa and the diaspora. Diaspora News Channel app keeps you informed and empowered from wherever you are at any time. Don't just watch, join the movement. Download the app now and stay connected to the news that matters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream today. It is great that you are here. It is Thursday, July 17th. And it's good to see y'all. Hold on, I ain't got y'all up on my screen. Hold on. Let me see here so I knew something was wrong. All right. So what we're going to get into tonight is it's this article that a lot of people talking about that was actually released in 2023 about the African continent trying to tap into the FBA spending power, 1.7 trillion to be exact. FBA spending power has been really circulated a lot on TikTok. A lot of people been talking about this also on X. So we're going to get into that tonight, this conversation, and just have a nice conversation about that, right? Outside of that, just real quick, those of you who want to, another lady I just saw sent a message to Kellen. If you're interested in doing the Ghana trip with us in November, come on through. Like I said, come on through. Like I said, last time I checked, we got about 18 spots left. And after those spots are gone, they're gone. You can take advantage of that by putting your $199 down and then paying payments. I forgot to put the link up for anybody that want to go. Unfortunately, sometimes what happens on I don't know why, no matter where we ever went, people come at the last minute, like, oh, can I still go? I'll never forget when Mark told me that one year in South Africa, where he was like, man, they called me the day before and was trying to get in. So that trip was interesting because he said he had to turn people away. That's how people try to get in at the end. So I don't know why some people wait to the last minute, but at least put your deposit down, and then you want to pay at the last minute, I guess. But $199 down to do that, and then you can just make your payments. And come on with us, the 14th through the 21st, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a good trip. You can come with us. Also, Toronto. Next month, Toronto, we'll be at the Pan-African Film Festival. Being over there breaking bread, the brothers and sisters in Toronto. That's one city that supports us in Canada. Be our first time. The brunch that we talked about be on the 18th or so. So make sure to look for those tickets at the Pan-African Film Festival. Won't be too long. It'll be my first time going to that film festival. I've never been before, so it'd be beautiful to watch some films. And, on Netflix sometime I sit there, I watch a lot of films like that. I think it was a South African film I watched. I thought it was funny, called Meet the Kamalos. So it was on Netflix. If you got time, you want to lay around, watch it. I watched that. It was good. It was actually pretty good and funny. I like funny shows. So, yeah. A few other things. I want to make sure I'm remembering everything before I get started. Shout out to all the team in Nigeria. And speaking about Nigeria, I'm seeing Ghana and Nigeria go back and forth. I've been watching that stuff, and I'm like, now they having some beef right now. Between the Ghanaians and the Nigerians. And so, I'm looking at that and I'm watching some of the footage, and I'm like, you know what? Look, people can say what they want to say about FBA, but we don't, when we have an issue, it don't turn into that. I always tell people, the most you're going to get out of FBA is maybe what you'll say on the internet and maybe what they'll type in the comment section. FBA not about to go out there and mess with you. Not physically. We're not. We just say what we're going to say and move on. I'm seeing videos where people are tearing up businesses and doing all kind of things because they pissed off that, that I think some, from what I'm reading and seeing, there's a man called himself the Igbo King. He actually been living in Ghana for 30 years, actually, from my research. And, he got some acres of land out there. He married a Ghanaian woman, and he wanted to make this, from what the story is, he wants to make this area for Igbos and all of that. And then the Ghanaians are like, no, you won't do all that. You're going to have to go do that back in your homeland. So that kind of stirred some things up. And then so now, from what I'm seeing, Now they don't really want the Nigerians over there. Then we tell another story about when I find out about Nigerian men in particular. Dubai, the UAE, they put a ban on Nigerian males from the ages of, I think, 18 to either 45 or 55. And if you are 55, you got to have so much money in the bank to even come to the UAE. So the Nigerian women can go, but the men can't go. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? Everybody kicking the Nigerian men out. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm hearing the South Africans complaining. Everybody, you know, I'm hearing a lot. Okay. So like, but I let the African journalists do their thing. Like I said, I'm not weighing in on a whole lot unless it has something to do with us. But I will weigh in on a story. You know, I wasn't going to do that tonight. Trump ended up deporting 5 people from various countries to Eswatini. Now, that's a small African country in the southern part of Africa. And a lot of South Africans are pissed about that. They say, why are they letting the criminals that got it from this? They're not even American. They foreigners. But Trump deported them to Eswatini. I don't know if he gave them a bag. I don't know what Trump did. But they are hot about that because they say, hey, then people can come to South Africa, and we already got enough problems with these immigrants coming in here. And now we got known criminals that's over here. So it's getting interesting. Trump trying to dump them people wherever he can, not even in their own homeland, because some of their homelands won't even accept them back. You understand? Won't accept them back. So that's going on. So I was watching some of that footage today, and I like I said, I'll look more into that and maybe bring a accurate and thorough report. Ladies and gentlemen, let me check in with y'all. So they say, but if we, FBAs, they say we will roast you, but we're not about to go destroy nobody's business. We're not going to go mess with no matter what black folks say. Like my grandpa used to say, black folks just like to talk. They like to be heard. That's it. He said, for the most part, we're not about to do you nothing. Letting they say, now we are doing you something. You must have really did something. He said, but other than that, we just going to get it out of our system. And that's the end of it. And that's really what a lot of it is. But people just can't take it. And that's why on the podcast, I just keep covering those things, because every time I log in to TikTok, somebody else saying something crazy about FBAs. I'm like, why y'all won't let that go? Lord. So I'll be covering that tonight on the podcast. All right. Well, before I started with this, I forgot I had this video. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. Let me play your girl. I totally forgot I had this video sitting here. Where's that video at? There you go. I totally forgot this video.
And as a woman, there's a balance to be struck between being tough and being a bitch. Turn that off.
You know what? That lady funny to me. That lady's always been funny to me. I've always laughed at her. This is the funny part, and this may be the scary part for some of y'all. Before I get started with this, that lady could become the president this time around. I'm going to tell you why. Trump has been doing so much. By the time he get to the end of his term, J.D. Vance not going to have a chance. I'm sorry, he does not. If she come out again, the Latinos not going to make the same mistake twice. I'll tell you that much. They're not going to make the same mistake twice. So they'll vote for her. Of course, you know, black folks going to vote for her. Let's call it what it is. Black folks going to vote for her. I think a lot of people would vote for her the second time around than the first time. I'm telling you, that lady could become president in 2028. I'm telling you, I'm watching the moves Trump and them are making. They doing too much. They're doing way too much. Some things are like, yeah, okay, that's cool. We rock with that. And then some things like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, what all of y'all are doing? Like I say, you literally, it's like, if the Democrats, I'm just keeping it real. If the Democrats don't win in 2028, I'm like, y'all never win at that point. Because what Trump and them doing at this point, I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at some of the moves they're making. They look like they don't want to win in 2028 from what it look like it. From what I'm seeing. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. You say, oh, no, not her being the president. It could happen. I'm telling you, it could happen. I think it's more of a reality for her in 2028 than this time. I think it could happen. Not to say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm saying I think it could. If I had to pick between her and Gavin Newsom, I would pick her. If you say I had to pick between those two, I'd pick her. All day long, I'll pick her over Gavin Newsom. Have you seen what Gavin Newsom did to California? Now, both of them are pro-immigrant, so I'm not even talking about the immigrant side. But Gavin Newsom is horrible. If you want America to turn literally into California, vote for him. That dude there, man, you should see how black people are living over there. Man. All right, so let's get into this article real quick. Let me switch my screen here. Where's this article? All right, so this is the article that a lot of people have been. Is this the right one? Nope, wrong one. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. There we go. All right, so this is the article a lot of people have been talking about. A lot of TikToks have been made about this article right here in the Africa Report. And it says, Diaspora Initiative looks to tap into the 1.7 trillion African American purse. Now, this was written back in October 18, 2023, during the Biden administration at 15:26. Those of you who don't do the 24-hour time at 3:26 p.m. So let's get into what some of the things that people have been kind of talking about. It says Southern Africa is the target market for the first in a series of African Diaspora and Friends of Africa investment summits. African American buying power could reach 1.7 trillion by 2030. Projects the McKinsey Institute of Black Economic Mobility, but only a tiny fraction of its currently ending up in Africa. Say with the African Union and the Joe Biden administration both promoting the diaspora as a key potential source of funding for the continent. A coalition of black business leaders is coming together to help turn things around. On the 17th of October, they announced the first in what they envision as a series of African Diaspora and Friends of Africa investment summits over the coming years. Now, let me get into some things here before I even continue. Everybody, let's just keep it 100. Everybody in the world know the buying power we have, okay? Not just them, but definitely the folks. Let me tell you something. That's why the folks don't want us away from here. It's because of our buying power. Our buying power greatly affects the GDP, gross domestic product, of the American economy. If you remove FBAs out of the American economy, it's going to take a major hit and could definitely spiral it into recession. They need this one thing they count on with FBAs in their economy is we are quicker to spend. We're not quicker to save. Some groups are better at saving than others. Now, I know I studied the psychology of black people and why we spend so much. Some of us spend because we want to look a certain way, because we have a self-esteem problem. I'm talking about across the board. We really have a self-esteem problem. This is why we will prioritize clothes, shoes, cars, and all these things to make ourselves feel better, because a lot of us don't feel good about ourselves. You like my grandmother always said, you always can tell when somebody had no money in the black community, because the first time they get $5, they go spend it all. They go buy all the clothes. They go buy the shoes. They go do this what they have. They go and do this. They go and do that, and they not saving for a rainy day. They if somebody gets sick, they not gonna have no money. But you see them spending though. Now back in that time period, it was a Cadillac. Now black people don't buy Cadillacs like that no more. But maybe black folks will buy a Mercedes, a BMW, or whatever vehicles black people are buying. Right? They may go buy a Genesis or something like that. Right? But that's what black people do. I mean, even they had you remember that old school film, How to Sell to the Negro, because they bank on us spending a lot of money. The unfortunate part about us and how we spend money, unfortunately, is that we don't take that potential 7 trillion or 5 trillion or 4 trillion, and we don't circle that back into the black community. Our biggest problem is we give our money out to every other community and we don't keep it within our own FBA community. So some people's getting upset, say why they want to come target us. Why are they trying to get money out of FBAs for? Why are they not trying to get money out of their own countries and their own communities? The fact of the matter is everybody want a piece of the pie. Everybody. We will not be left alone by nobody. I'm telling you that when it comes to money, the folks, and no matter what religion they practice, you know what I'm talking about, they want our money. Look at all the music artists. Look at all the different how the folks, no matter what religion they practice, it's still the folks. They want their hands in everything that we got going on. We make billions and trillions of dollars for these people right here in this country. You look at LeBron James running up and down the basketball court. He's making money for them folks. He's not putting that money's not being circulated to the black community. We don't have a sole black-owned NBA team. There's one black owner. He owned it all. Not him being a part of our ownership. I'm talking about he owned everything. We don't have that. The NFL, they have no black owners. So no matter what great things a black man is doing on the football field, that money is not circulating back into the greater black community. That money is going into the hands of white people. So you better believe white people don't want black folks to get away from them at all, because if it wasn't being for us, they couldn't live as good as how they live. They're not leaning on Latinos to be doing those things. They're not leaning on Asians to do those things. They're leaning on black people. They try to relegate black people, say, oh, y'all just do sports and y'all just do music or whatever. And that makes a lot of people rich and a lot of people live very comfortably. These people are so sinister in this music industry that they don't even want you to have your master recordings. And then when it's time for you to get your master recordings back, something mysteriously happens to you. You may go to jail, R. Kelly, because word on the street was R. Kelly was close to getting his master recordings back. And when you have the master recordings, you get all the money from any music or whatever that's being used of your stuff. R. Kelly, he goes to jail around the time they say he was about to get his master recordings back. Prince, about to get his master recordings back, and they slipped him the wrong medicine. Michael Jackson, he beat their whole system, literally. He owned half of Sony Music. Michael owned the Beatles catalog. Michael was a good businessman. And then old Conrad Murray come around, and now Michael not here anymore. These people would do so many sinister things to keep our money. They look at us as a cash cow still to this day. This is why I told y'all, who really put me hip to this, and may he rest in power. Brother Amin-Ra. Brother Amin-Ra told me years ago when I did an interview with him in Mombasa, Kenya. I did an interview with him, and the interview's on this channel. And he said, look, no, white people don't want us leaving, don't want us going nowhere. No, we ain't got to come. He said, you ain't got to come to Africa, go wherever we want to go, right? He said, they don't want us to leave. He said, because think about it. He said, you here today, right? I said, yeah. He said, all the money you've been spending this whole time you've been in Kenya, it's been in this country. You ain't spent a dime in America. He said, well, if too many of us do that, that's taking money from them. He said, and they're going to stop. They're going to try to eventually stop us from doing that if too many of us do it. And I told y'all a long time ago, have you noticed the white supremacists don't tell us? Now, this is before some people got real hardcore about FBA. But even before then, the white supremacists don't even tell us no more, go back to Africa. You remember they used to tell us that a lot? Well, if you don't like it, go back to Africa. They don't even say that to us no more. This is before FBA. I noticed that happening. I noticed that around 2018, 2019, they stopped saying go back to Africa. Because some black folks were going. They're going to visit. Maybe some were choosing to live or whatever. But you have to understand, everybody want a hand in the pot with FBA. Now, but my only issue, though, with the African continent with this, I got an issue. And some of the issue you may agree with, some of you may not agree with. But let me get back to the article, and I'm going to get into my issue with it. Now, I say new opportunity. Say a few dozen investors and U.S. government officials attended the launch at the South African Embassy in Washington, D.C. Now, see, That's also suspect for me. I don't want the U.S. government involved with nothing if I got to be sitting up here or we as FBAs doing anything. The U.S. government don't need to be involved with anything. That always raised my antenna if they involve. It say the half-day event was a precursor to a 3-day summit focused on the 16-member Southern African Development Community scheduled to take place from March 6th to March 8th in Washington. They say this opportunity for us to take diaspora wealth and redirect it to include the continent. A lot of people took issue with that statement. What do you mean you need to redirect it? Well, why? Okay. Now, I know you say diaspora, you don't just mean FBA. I get it. But we talking about the FBAs. Why do you need to redirect it? If it needs to be redirected anywhere, it needs to be redirected within our own community. Now, if we choose to do something and we choose to travel, if we choose to move, if we choose to do business, then that's fine. But no, nothing needs to be redirected. And say the summit offers a twist on the ever-growing number of diaspora initiatives by seeking to engage the broader African-American community, in addition to more recent immigrants from the continent. Now, I say there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of money here. He said that ends up being one of the biggest problems, the diaspora not knowing where the investment opportunities are and the asset managers not knowing that there's an investment community that actually exists that's interested in the Africa story. Now, here's my issue with all this invest. And I'm gonna talk from just seeing what people do and also just being on the ground there and just kind of seeing how people move, okay? They always come to you about, well, why don't you invest? Okay, invest in what? What do we need to invest in? If you were going to me about some investments, well, with them diamond mines and them gold mines, well, show me the investments over there. And I need to do, and of course, I would do my due diligence. I don't just take some dude that just say, hey, I got a mine. You can invest your money. And unfortunately, some FBAs go over there and just like, oh my God, he said he got a mine, and then you gave him $10,000, and then this dude then disappeared on you with your $10,000. You know how many FBAs and had that happen to them? They go get some land from some dude, and this dude is quote unquote had sold this land about 20 times and then ran off with a bag. If y'all go do anything over there, please do your due diligence. Scamming is global, okay? Scamming is global. There are scammers here. We talk about the scammers here in America. There are scammers over there. Like, don't let your guard down. I know some of y'all go with this emotional crap about, oh my God, I'm in Africa now. Look, you don't be stupid no matter where you go, okay? When I'm not home, I'm more guarded because I don't know the layout. I don't know nobody. So until I get to know people, and even when I get to know you, I'm still going to get my guard up, especially when it comes to ask me for some money. You're like, man, you can invest. I don't know about that. I got to do my homework, right? But saying that you need to redirect the money, why do our money need to be redirected? So what I'm seeing right now, you want to talk about direction, the money's been going out to everybody else. And what y'all basically said in that article is that, well, instead of going to the white people, it needs to come over here. Okay, fine. Let's go there. The money goes over there. My main question, my main problem with all of this is this one issue. Why do we, and I'm going to keep saying this, why do we have to come in to the African continent and follow the same rules as white people? And I'm not talking about crime or nothing like that. What I mean is entry requirements. When we go over there, we got to do the same visa process as white people. If we want a permanent residency, we got to do the same process as white people. If we want to be a citizen, we got to follow the same process as white people. So until you change that and show like, okay, you want money, but you're not offering citizenship. That's really a lot of the problem. A lot of FBAs not going to craft it like that. They just going to, some may speak out of anger, but I'm going to articulate to you that's what a lot of it is. You want our money, you want us to invest, but you don't really want us to come stay there, but you want the money. Now, there's a lot of people that want you to stay there now. Let me tell the truth. Every country I've been in, I've been told, okay, bring your family, you staying? Like, well, man, we can show you what it was nice places at. Every country has wanted me to stay. None of them have told me get the hell out. None of them have. But when you get to the government of these countries, right? They the one is they own that. So I know it's a difference with the people versus the government. Because I don't want people to say, well, Brother Phil, I ain't like that. Oh, we ain't like, listen, I know y'all locals versus your government is two different entities. So I'm more so focusing the conversation on your government. Your government don't want the diaspora to come back in mass, but you want the money to come. And then you want the money to come based on some, mysticism and, oh man, we all, Africa or whatever. Listen, the money could come, but you got to give, like I say, a key to the house first. Some of our children need to come back until you give your children the key. And I'm not saying all of them want to come. A lot of them don't want nothing to do with the continent of Africa. So I'm not even talking about those people. So if that's you, I'm not even talking about you. But let's say the ones that wanted to. You have not gave a key. And if you're not given a key to come back, but you can come bring a bag, people have an issue with that. I'm sorry, they do. You looking at us as a lick. People take an issue with you looking at them as a lick. The right way to do it would be, hey, let's get these brothers and sisters some citizenship. Let's make sure, of course, I would suggest before you even do the citizenship, you need a class to understand the culture, to understand to teach, like, okay, in America, this is what y'all do there, but in here, we don't have these services. Hey, in America, you was doing this, but over here, it's like this. In America, you really don't need nobody too much because you can kind of do things on your own because it's individualistic. Well, over here, you need people. Like, I believe if you're going to go do that, I believe it should be a class taught by FBAs who have lived there at least 5 years or more that know the culture. And I think FBA should teach that class and being paid by the government to teach the class before you even can get a citizenship, because that has to be part of the citizenship, I would say. But you need citizenship first, not a lick. Now, Cynthia said, I think FBA somewhat cautiously should invest in the motherland, which could redirect resources and opportunities back into our communities for the betterment of our future generation. Listen, investments can work, but number one, you got to go there a lot. Number two, you got to build a network of good people to do it. And you got to know them and you got to be able to trust them. And it's not just showing up one time to do it. You got to go several times. We really could, in a perfect world, we really could go source a lot of things in the African continent and bring it back here to our FBA communities, right? Or we can expand our businesses over there. We could. But then when you got people like Akon out here talking about Wakanda City, when the first time I heard that Akon City thing, I'm like, this is just me just thinking. I'm like, okay, Akon haven't even built a city here in the United States. How he gonna go build a city over there where things is much harder? Maybe it's easier to get the land and whatever, but he ain't built nothing here. He ain't built even a neighborhood here that I've seen. So I look at people's track record. Cause like, okay, you talking about you gonna have a city, it's gonna run off of crypto. You showing all these pictures and all of that. Why didn't you just build a neighborhood right here in America? And then show at least you knew how to build a thriving community right here in America. And then maybe, okay, Senegal will give you more land so you can do something different and better. I always look at people's track record. You got to look at people's track record. If he don't know nothing about building a whole city, how did Akon knew about building a city, bruh? He knew about making songs, but not a city. So then people invested money into that Akon city or whatever the case may be. People got finessed and Akon went off with the bag. You said Marcus says Ghana is not giving free land to FBAs. FBAs need to go to Ghana with a bag. Realistically, no country is giving land to nobody. I'm just being real with you. Let's say Ghana did that. Let's just really say that. Let's say Ghana just gave us land when we showed up. You know how we don't like when the immigrants come in here and just getting all this free stuff and we get pissed off and angry about it, right? We say they didn't pay taxes here. They didn't build this country. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. We've been here X amount of time. And why are they getting stuff? it'll be the same argument over there too. How come we showing up and getting land and they can't have it? How come they getting this? How come they getting that? But we are over here. And then they're going to get mad and going to fight and get violent and all of that. So it's the same thing. Number one, I never believe that if some of us wanted to go, we shouldn't descend on one country. I never agree with that. I think people should be spread out. And I think if the people's going to do it, if you're going to do it, it need to be people, I think that's more business minded, because you can't go over there to go get a job. It's not set up for a job. It's set up for you to create a business. Like you can't go to Ghana tomorrow and talk about, I'm trying to get a job. Good luck with that. Or if you do get a job, you're not going to get paid what you got paid in America. So then you may not even want to work that job. So it's like the African continent is better for business. If you got a business and you go over there, create your business, whatever you're doing here in America, go do over there. You can hire people and save a lot of money that way and grow it that way. But without citizenship, no matter what country you want to go to, without citizenship, and here's a reality. People cool with you, but everybody don't want you just to mass come to their country. So when we say America is our homeland, I mean, this is the only place that we can be for now, that whether we all of the atrocities we dealt with in America, this is our homeland. We have a citizenship here. We have no citizenship nowhere else. We don't. Check something on the screen here. We have no citizenship. And until we get a citizenship somewhere else, we gotta build here. We gotta do what we gotta do here. Not to say we can't expand. Not to say if you want to move. Many brothers and sisters have left America. A lot of them. I watch their videos all the time, and I enjoy their videos. They seem like they're so much at peace. But realistically speaking, I never forget this conversation me and Brother Sharif had about, people going to the continent or whatever. And I remember he said that in the car. We were driving. He's like, man. He said, some of us will go, he said, but the majority of us are going to stay here. We're not going nowhere. He said, it's not even humanly possible for all of us to go anywhere. He said, unless something bad just happened and we just got to go. He said, but if it's just what it is, we're going to be here. He said, and listen, Honorable Elijah Muhammad never told us, hey, everybody get up and go over there. He told us to work and build right here, work with our own. Our biggest issue, talking about the 1.7 trillion, our biggest issue is that we don't want to work with each other as a group. Now, we'll come together on something like FBA. We would, yeah. But I wish that coming together would translate into more unification, in our cities, more unification with our businesses, because we need that. We need the black banks to start giving loans, home loans and business loans. Look at what's going on, talking about FBA. Look what's going on with Howard University. Do y'all know what's going on with Howard University right now? Our children, our black children, are getting $20,000 bills and up and saying they got to pay it by the 1st or they can't even get into college. These kids cannot afford in our community just to come up with some $20,000 bill. Okay? Howard University gets a lot of money from the federal government. Our children, in my opinion, shouldn't even be paying any money to go into the HBCU personally. And if they are paying, they should be paying a fraction of the cost. Now, I heard one figure that they ate over the years that let me not misquote this. Let me make sure I get the right information for y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on, we'll get it. Tuition. Let me see. Waiting for that information to pull up. Okay, so Howard University charged $444.7 million in tuition and fees. That's in fiscal year June 30, 2024. The institution of financial aid, scholarships and grants was $189.2 million. That's saying net tuition and fees recognized as revenue. Revenue, we're talking about what came into the university as revenue, was $255.5 million. Okay? So why is it that if you made 200 and had a revenue of $255 million, why our children are getting stuck with bills? See, these are the things that FBAs, we have to start fixing. We got to fix the HBCUs, man, because HBCUs should be the place that all of us be going to, right? If we want to go to college, we go to HBCU. But the reason why a lot of them get away with it is because we haven't been really on their bumper. And I really believe FBAs got to be on the bumper of these HBCUs and these presidents and say, hey, what you doing with the money? This is our children. Because, hey, they may not be accepted in a PWI, but they should be accepted here in the HBCU. That $1.7 trillion should be circulating within our institutions, within our restaurants. We need doctors' offices. We need clinics. We need hospitals. That's the things that we need to be circulating our money on. And if we want to invest or in the continent, we invest. We want to invest in the Caribbean, we'll do that. But the main thing is taking care of home first. That's been our thing. We have not taken care of home. And with delineation, that's what that's the next step to delineation. Okay, now you delineated. Now let's look inward and take care of our business as FBAs that we have not been taken care of because we've been focusing our attention on all these other groups and fighting for them and not taking care of the HBCUs, not making sure our medical is good as black people, having the right facilities, take care of our black people that got grocery stores, take care of our black people that got farms. Because we got black people that got farms. You know, you hear about the farmers so much and they paint it like the white people, the only farmers. We have a lot of black farmers. I met a few last time I went to the farmers market locally here. Black company that did their meat. I bought meat from them, right? And I was so happy. And they say, man, yeah, we've been having our what they call it, not a farm, but they call it something. It's meat company, but they've been 100 years. They've been open 100 years. They had their company, and that meat was good. And I'm like, I say, how can I get more meat? So we're here every week. And then what I loved about it when I bought the meat from them is that there was the three daughters was there. And I said, you know what? I say, now this is beautiful. I say, 'cause a lot of times the younger people, they don't want to work the family business. I say, and that's why we lose generational wealth. We can have a couple build something, and then the kids like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, whatever. And white folks keep their money because it's like Trump, right? Look at Trump. All right, Trump did what he did. His dad had money too, but Trump did what he did. He got his sons involved in what he's doing. He got his daughter involved, and then they'll get their children involved. It's like they don't have a choice. It's kind of like the Asians. They're another one. You don't have a choice. Oh, we'll send you to school. We're going to get you educated, but somebody's going to be working in this business. We're not going to just let this business go. So when mom and daddy pass away, hey, the kids take over. Even if it's one child took over that business, but they're creating generational wealth. And how many times have we had houses in our community, land in our community? You don't want to keep that. Oh, well, they want to buy it from me. Man, your grandparents bought that house clear. It's their house. And you gonna sell it? And now the folks got it and you lost land. You lost all kind of things. You quick to sell. See, that's the stuff that FBA's got to start tightening up on. Now that we delineated, let's deal with our issues in the black community. Some of that gentrification these folks are doing, you selling your houses to them. You said Jackson State higher ups is the number one reason Dion isn't there. Yeah, that's it. Like really, you know, and with HBCUs, it has to be the local community, right? I mean, the whole country can't come down to one HBCU, but if it's the local people in Jackson, they say, hey man, nah, we got to figure this out. Nah, what y'all doing with the money? What's going on? Why you got issues like crime or whatever? Like, what's going on? We want this cleaned up today because black folks don't like no crime. Black folks don't like crime at all. Black people want to live in law and order too. I have not met black people say they want to live in crime. When I was hearing people getting their cars broken into and all this at Jackson, I'm like, come on, man, what's going on, man? What's going on? That's what FBA's got to start focusing on. Yeah, you can argue with all these other groups all day online, and that's fine. And we'll talk about it. But can we focus on FBA business now? Since we're not there fighting for the Latinos and the Asians and anybody else, can we focus on FBA business? Now, KK Rose down there say the boomers sold grandma's house. They also sold grandma land too. They sold it. They don't want to take care of grandma land and say, oh, we don't have no land. Yeah. And you start doing some investigation to a lot of these black families. You had land given to you, literally. Big mama and pop left you land, acres of land in the country. And you didn't want it. The white folks came to you and you just took the first offer they gave you too. And you ran off with the money. The money gone. The money is gone. Do you know land equals wealth? I hope you know that. Land equals wealth. That's why in South Africa, Julius Malema is always talking about the land. Because if you have land, you have wealth. The way a lot of y'all spend, that money goes just like that. All with your, think about it. Your grandma, your great grandpa, and all them left you some land. They went through hell to keep that land. They had to fight the Klan off, the police, anybody wanted to take their land, and they kept their land their whole life in y'all family. And you had no respect for what they went through to keep that land. Land, that's yours. You could have built a home on that land if you wanted to. If it's your land, nobody can kick you off of it. Pay your property taxes, whatever, but it's your land. You always have a place to stay. Why sell it? Yeah, you say, yeah, some people be having 40 acres. Listen, some black folks had their 40 acres. And they sold it right to the white people. We got a lot of issues that we need to focus on in our community, in the area, selling our land, selling this, always selling stuff off. But then say we don't have no generational wealth. No, we've had instances of generational wealth. We just sold it off to white people, and they got it. And white people know you gonna sell. They know. That's why they press you the way they press you. Keep pressing them, they gonna sell. They'll tell you, hey, I'll pay you today. And then a lot of times they get the land from you, and it's not even the value of the land what it should be. They just throw out, the land could be worth $500,000, but if they told you $100,000 a day, I cut you a check today, $100,000. Oh my God, I never seen that kind of money before. And then you give them the land. And now they about to flip a bag into the millions on your land. Millions. And you can't get it back. You say, Primetime say your grandmother died she living in Magnolia, Mississippi. Say, I'm from Bakersfield. It said, and we still got the land. Nobody can't sell the land the way my grandma did it. Grandma did it right. Yeah, that land supposed to stay in the family. You don't give that land up to nobody. And you got land, you're supposed to stay on top of that land. Don't let the freaking property taxes go. Don't pay it for years. Then the city take it or whoever take it from you. It don't make sense. That's the least you can do to honor. We talking about honoring our ancestors. You need to honor your grandma. Honor her. Honor your grandfather. Their ancestor now. And a lot of you not even honoring them. When you talking about honoring some ancestors that from 100 years ago, you need to honor the one that was just in your family recently. Keep their land. Keep their house, or anything, improve their house. Improve it. And if you choose to sell it to an FBA. That's what Jewish people do and white people do. They don't come sell their land to us. They gonna find another white person or Jewish person to sell it to. If you're gonna sell it to another FBA. If you're gonna choose to do that. Say, hey, I'm selling, but I want to sell to FBAs. And keep the land within the community if you're gonna sell it. You want to sell Big Mama house? Okay, sell it to an FBA. That way you kept the house into the black community if you're gonna do it. Well, Phil, I really don't want to keep up with that land. Okay, fine. Sell it to an FBA. At least an FBA got it. Eric said we have over 66 acres in the country in Berea and we ain't selling, and good, don't sell. But I will say this, figure out a way to monetize that 66 acres though, because it's great to have, but how do you monetize it? Because if I had 66 acres of land, I'm sitting on here like, okay, hey, ChatGPT, I got 66 acres of land. I live at this location. What can I do with it? Give me a plan to monetize 66 acres of land. ChatGPT will give you some great ideas of how you can monetize 66 acres of land. Y'all better use AI. Sure, I'm curious about that right now. Let me ask that question real quick. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to ask ChatGPT this question. Hey, somebody just said on a YouTube comment that they family have 66 acres of land. How can they monetize 66 acres of land?
Absolutely. Let's dive into this with the strategic, forward-thinking lens. How to transform 66 acres of land into a revenue-generating powerhouse. Option 1, agricultural innovation. Leverage the land for high-value specialty agriculture. Organic farming. Capitalize on the premium market for organic produce. Demand is growing, and margins can be significantly higher than conventional crops. Agritourism. Create a destination with farm tours, pumpkin patches, or seasonal events. This taps into the experience economy and can generate significant revenue, especially if you host weddings or corporate retreats. Option 2, renewable energy. If the location is suitable, consider solar or wind energy projects. Solar farm. Leasing land to energy companies for a solar array can provide a stable, long-term income stream. Wind turbines. If the area is windy enough, wind turbines can be another lucrative avenue. It's capital intensive at the start, but offers substantial returns over time. Real estate development. Depending on zoning laws, there's potential for residential or commercial development. Eco-friendly housing. Develop a sustainable housing community. It's a growing market and aligns with modern environmental values. Commercial lease. Develop part of the land for commercial use, retail, office space, or even a tech hub if it's near a city or growing suburban area. Conservation easements. If the land has unique environmental value, like wetlands or forest, you can place a conservation easement on it. This provides tax incentives and sometimes direct payments from government or environmental organizations. It preserves the land while providing a steady income or significant tax relief. Option 5, recreational leases. If the land has natural beauty, forests, lakes, or trails, consider hunting or fishing leases. Outdoor enthusiasts will pay for exclusive access. Glamping or ecotourism. High-end camping experiences can attract urban dwellers looking for a nature escape. Genius level strategy. Combine multiple streams for a diversified income. Renewable energy on one section, organic farming on another, and a small eco-resort on the rest. This minimizes risk and maximizes income potential, while also appealing to different market segments. This approach not only ensures the land is productive, but also creates multiple avenues for long-term stable revenue. If you need a detailed feasibility plan or financial projections for any of these ideas, I'd be happy to help.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. If you ever have more questions or need any further insights, just let me know. I'm always here to help you strategize and move forward.
See, it's just that simple. See, 66 acres of land, look at all the opportunities you have to make money. Stop sitting on the land, do something with it. Artificial intelligence is here to tell you some great ideas. Renewable energy, telling you about organic farming, so many different things you can do with that land. So do something with it. Monetize it. Just don't sit on it. All right. You said HBCUs and black leadership is a disgrace. You said, and you're right, no excuses, put up or shut up. That's exactly what it is. So people are always going to look at us as a lick because we're not monetizing what we have. So everybody want a piece of the pie. I mean, could you blame other people for wanting a piece of the pie? They seeing the white man getting it, and we selling our land. We doing all kind of things where everybody, you know what I'm saying? So everybody want a piece of that pie. So we need to monetize our community, monetize our land, monetize it. Don't sit on it, monetize it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You say appreciate it. Hey, like I said, I live on asking those questions, right? Hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? What about this? What about that? I'm always asking questions because I got to learn something. It's like every day I'm learning something new. And y'all should do the same thing too. All right. All right. Well, thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the show tonight. Well, the stream. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. That's very easy. Make sure you click the like button. That's easy too, right? The like button is very, very easy. It's free. And make sure you download the ADNC app. Hey, join us at least monthly, quarterly. You can do annual or lifetime. Hey, lifetime, you never have to worry about price increases or nothing like that. Yes, it's $1,000. But that's it. You don't have to pay nothing else. But if you choose anything, say, hey, I'll do monthly. That's like paying 33 cents a day, to support our platform, right? Well, thank y'all for checking us out, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Stay connected with global Black communities. Download the African Diaspora News